Good morning and happy Thursday. In this live stream, I'm going to be talking about solar in California and NEM 3.0. I'm Jamie Green, the Solar Queen, and thanks so much for watching this video, this live stream. And if you're watching live and you have questions about solar in California, put them in the comment section and I will answer them live here on the live stream. So it's been a while since I've been live or created any content around solar. My family and I, we've been busy with baseball and softball. Everyone's playing sports, and it's just the time is going by crazy, or crazy fast, I should say. And I took a little bit of a break. We went on vacation and whatnot, and now I am back and ready to go when it comes to helping homeowners go solar here in California and across the nation. So if you live in other states outside of California and you would like my help, please reach out to me. I'm happy to help you go solar and would encourage you to do so, because what's happened in California with solar since April 15th of last year with NEM 3.0 is it's just, you have to get storage with your solar system. And yesterday I was talking with a friend that went solar, and they went with a roofing company, a local roofing company that offered solar on top of that. And they were really concerned about their solar system not producing enough energy. And I learned that they went and added more solar to their system. And I was really, really, really nervous that they were not told about the NEM 3 policy changes that occurred. But based on their billing and their true up, it looks like that they're still in NEM 2.0. So perhaps they signed it and everything got done. We won't really know until I see some of the contracts that they're going to send over. Their concern was that their system was not producing all the energy it was supposed to, and resulting in a massive true up. So I'm going to talk a little bit about true ups when it comes to NEM 3.0 and NEM 2.0 too, if you have a true up. And what that means, what if you do have a NEM 2.0 true up and you want to add more solar, is it financially beneficial? But in California now, if you're watching outside of California, pay attention, because it is likely that soon, in the next couple of years, your utility commissioner may adopt similar California solar net metering policies. We're kind of starting to see it happen in the Northeast. So if you have the opportunity to go solar and gain the benefits of full net metering, which means when your solar system's generating power, it goes to the grid and the utility company gives you a net metering credit to use later on within a year's time frame. So it's kind of like the utility company is your backup battery. So if you live in a state where that net metering policy exists and you're seeing your energy costs rise and you want to mitigate that, or you want to kind of cap how much you're paying per kilowatt hour and not have to worry about storage, self-consumption batteries and whatnot, then I would encourage you to book an appointment with me. You can go to my website, jamiegreenthesolarqueen.com, and you can self-schedule an appointment with me, and we can meet on the phone or over Zoom if you want. And we can look at your home and your situation. This applies also to people in California, and get a solar quote that makes sense. So I'm going to go back to the example of my friend who was worried that their system was underproducing. In my analysis of talking with them, I think that their system was just undersized for what they thought that they were getting. So this is a word to you as the homeowner, and I love to help homeowners go solar, and I want to make sure that you are fully educated and equipped, which is why I create content on my YouTube channel, create content on, put it out on Facebook, on Twitter, and I guess it's X, and Instagram. I can put it out there too. It's just a little bit more tricky, but the point is that you as the homeowner need to understand what you're purchasing, what you're leasing, and whatnot. I've been spending time on Reddit. There's a solar group there on Reddit, and some of the questions that people ask are legitimate questions, but it's clear that they're not getting the full education that they need. And people will ask all the time, is this system enough? Is this solar? Is this big enough? And do I have enough storage? Well, it all comes down to You living in, if you live in California, and we are paying the most in energy costs across the nation. So every person who can go solar in California really should consider it, even though you need storage now. It is so crucial and important for you to understand how much energy you're actually using. And not just how many kilowatt hours for the year, not just your annual consumption, but you need to drill down into the interval data that the utility companies have to provide to you. Interval data is, we call it green button data in our industry, or, we need to see the intervals of hourly basis. How much energy are you consuming on an hourly basis? And why this is important under NEM 3.0 is because when the sun is producing energy, if you don't have a battery or multiple batteries to put that energy into, you are going to just be giving it to the utility company, and they're going to take it from you, and they're going to say, thank you, Mr. and Mrs. Homeowner, for your energy. We're going to give you a credit, net surplus credit in, on the annual true up anniversary of your solar system. And it's going to probably be around 4 cents, 4 to 5, 6 cents a kilowatt hour based on the time of day and time of year that energy was generated. And you won't get to use it like we used to be able to in NEM 2.0. You're going to have to then go and buy the energy from the grid, even though you have solar panels. So it's crucial for you to understand you need solar and you need storage. And there are self-consumption batteries if you don't want to pay the full, premium of having self-consumption and backup batteries. There are just self-consumption batteries, which makes it more affordable. Your ROI will be a little bit faster than if you went and got the full batteries and whatnot. But if you don't have storage, you have to ask yourself, does it make sense for you to even get solar? Because like right now, it's sunny outside and my system's generating power, but I'm not consuming much. It's just my refrigerator that's not even running right now. That's like it's running, but it's not actively refrigerating things because however refrigerators work, it's not running. Like it's really quiet in my house. And my computer, and a nightlight in my kids' room. So our consumption right now is very low, and my solar production exceeds my consumption. And in NEM 3.0, if you don't put that excess energy into the battery, it goes to the utility company. You don't get the benefit like we used to with NEM 2.0 or the rest of the country, except for Hawaii. There's no net metering in Hawaii. You're just going to give it to the utility company. So it doesn't make sense if you don't get storage. So you have to get storage. But to understand how much storage and how big of a system you need, we need your usage and interval data. So the interval data is important because it tells us how much energy you're using from the time the sun goes down to the time that the sun rises the next day. And of course, that varies and fluctuates throughout the year. So it's kind of important to take sample sizes from every single month of when are you using power, how much are you using, and how much storage do you need. Super important to understand. So in California, it takes a little bit longer to get there, to understand your usage, to be able to size your system. Your solar system is its own thing, and then the storage is another thing. Some people think that they need multiple batteries, and they only have a 5 kilowatt system. Well, I would recommend that you don't get multiple batteries if you need a 5 kilowatt system, because a 5 kilowatt system of solar is like that. That's kind of the minimum for the standard 10 kilowatt batteries. You need enough solar production to make use of those batteries, especially for self-consumption batteries. Otherwise, it gets a little more complicated, but like batteries like the Tesla battery and I think the Franklin Whole Home, the ones that are AC coupled, you can charge them from the grid, but then you're buying power from the grid to power up your batteries. And then we call that energy arbitrage, really, because you would be loading it up during the non-peak time to use it during the peak time and whatnot. And then the other thing, so that's NEM 3.0. You need solar and you need storage, and they need to be sized per your home and per your usage. The other like weird factor in all of this is EV charging. Because when you're on the EV charging rate, you have to charge it, you want to charge it like from midnight to 6 a.m. And usually these, if you're fully charging your car, it's anywhere between 40 and 50 kilowatt hours, maybe 55 kilowatt hours that you're using to recharge your battery in your EVs. So if that's the case and you stay on that charging cycle, you need to think of that true up that you're going if you go solar now, you need to think of your monthly true up or your net billing as that's replacing your gas costs. Like what you used to drive for a conventional ICE vehicle, what you would pay for gas, which is $5, over $5 now here in California. I mean, I think everyone's back up to $100 gas bills if you drive any sort of vehicle with larger than a 16-gallon gas tank. Is that right? Yeah, I guess, well, 16 gallons times $5. Well, anyways, I can't do the math right now. What is that? $80 if you pay $5 a gallon for gas, but it's like $5.60 for premium gas where I live. You just need to think of that extra net billing for charging your car as that kind of you're saving on your gas bill. So it's all in how you allocate and how you look at it as what you're being charged for when it comes to solar in California with NEM 3.0. So with NEM 3.0, here's how the true up works. You have an annual net surplus commission or compensation, I should say, that will happen on an annual basis. So if you get solar installed and you get interconnection, which I've had some homeowners get interconnection recently, the interconnection, the annual true up for net surplus compensation happens on an annual basis. So that means anything that you sent to the utility company, they clock it on the smart meter. And they're going to give you credits that cannot be applied to consumption any time of the year. So it's going to be a credit, a compensation, and it happens on an annual basis. If you are a normal homeowner and your kids are at school and you go to work and you're not really at home, but your system's running for you and you overproduce a ton without storage, you're going to get that net surplus consumption on the annual true up. And it's pennies compared to what you're spending per kilowatt hour for your solar system. So that's net surplus compensation. I'll say from November until February, solar production in California drops off dramatically. It's like a big bell curve, like it's like a bridge, like the bridge in the background here, but even more dramatic. Our consumption doesn't drop off in the wintertime. If anything, it probably is less because we're not running air conditioning. But if you have a heat pumps are going to affect consumption. And most people, I know a lot of people, most people don't have, let me rephrase that. I know more and more people switching their heat sources and cooling sources to heat pumps. And I haven't seen it cycle through to see, and it all is based on size of house, how cool they run it and how hot they run it. But it's pretty, the consumption is going to go up a bit for homes that are heated with heat pumps. That's kind of if your gas furnace goes out and you want to replace it with a heat pump, we need to factor that in for your solar and storage. It's kind of tricky because everything is so particular to a homeowner in their home. But if you have solar and in the wintertime, and even with storage, you're still going to be left with a net bill, and it's going to vary based on your system, how much it produces, and your storage and everything. But for someone to say you're not going to ever have a bill in the wintertime is probably not, it's not an accurate statement. You will have some sort of net billing bill that you will owe to the utility company under NEM 3.0. And it's probably mostly going to be from November until February, so 4 months out of the year. It's just simply because of the production curve. So NEM 3.0 true-ups are going to be monthly for net billing for consumption. And this is also going to be true if you don't get storage. So storage is a must. Like any homeowner I help in California, they will not be able to get solar from me without storage. It is what it is. Because I want to make sure you're being taken care of. And unless you say, I don't care, I just want to reduce a little bit of my energy, it won't make sense. It just won't make sense for you. So net billing happens on a monthly basis for any electricity consumption that's not covered by solar and storage. So that is the case. And for people who have EVs in the summer, EVs, no matter what, if you're charging from midnight to 6 a.m., you're going to have a true-up bill. And that again goes back to, hopefully it's less than what you were paying for gas for driving, a gas-powered car. So I hope that's clear. If you're watching live and you have any questions or need clarity on that, please let me know. Or if you're watching the replay, let me know if you have any questions about that. The goal still is to save you money on your energy costs on a monthly ongoing basis. So you're still, even with solar and storage, you're still going to have the ability to lock in what we call a levelized cost per kilowatt hour. So that just means over 25 years, you take the cost of the system, and if you qualify for the tax credit, you take that tax credit and apply it to your overall solar and storage cost. And then you divide that net cost by the estimated kilowatt hour production. This is another thing you're going to want to know. What's my estimated kilowatt hour production for 25 years? One of the installers I use, they have a production guarantee, and so it's for 25 years. So if it underproduces based on what they anticipate, they give themselves a buffer because we can't control weather. Like everyone's production probably dropped off in January just due to weather, cloud cover and rain and storms and things like that. So weather does impact solar production, believe it or not. But it also, when that weather happens under NEM 3.0 and you don't have enough solar production and you don't have enough storage, you are buying power from the grid. So weather does affect Californians and their solar production and storage capacity during weather events. So just know that. And we mostly have weather in the wintertime, as well as less, sun hours in the day. So if that's the case in California with your charging of your cars, I think that's where I left off, you're going to have a net bill. And that should be okay. But going back to that levelized cost per kilowatt hour, say you can get it for 20 cents, 25 cents a kilowatt hour. That's the levelized cost. Right now it's 45 cents a kilowatt hour, 55 cents during peak hours. Still a net savings. So solar still makes sense. Even, if you can cover most, like call it 80% or 75% of your energy with solar and storage at a levelized cost per kilowatt hour, that's half of what you're paying the utility. That is still a savings. So I would encourage you to really consider getting solar for your home if you live in PG&E territory specifically. Rate increases are happening again very soon. They're going to continue to go up. It's kind of crazy. So take control of your energy costs is what I'm saying. And even if you have to lease the system, leasing is still a good deal. You just don't get the tax credit. And not everyone who purchases their home or solar system, not everyone qualifies for it. So you have to have the federal tax liability to be able to take advantage of the full tax credit. And if you can't get it all in the first year, it rolls over into the next year until you recoup it all. And the tax credit is 30% of the cost of your system. Whether you finance it, whether you borrow money from a local credit union or you pay cash, it's based off of the contract price. So a lot of homeowners are filing their taxes, and people who got solar installed and turned on last year, they are now able to go and get that tax credit. And I can't tell you what to do with that money. You might go, no, I'm not going to pay it back towards my loan. I'm going to just keep it and pay off other debt, or I'm going to invest. No one can tell you what to do with it, but you will get it back if you had the federal tax liability, and you filed for the tax credit. You will get it back in the form of a refund. If you had your taxes withheld and you're doing all your things, it comes back in the form of a refund from the IRS. So it's not automatic. You have to have the tax liability. I want to make sure that is clear. But that's what we're going about when it comes to levelized cost per kilowatt hour, is the net cost of the system divided by the estimated annual product or estimated 25-year production. And then you come out with a fixed cost, and it's going to beat the utility every single time. And if you get a lease, in California, still, for some of my leasing providers, I can help you with a lease. A lot of times it's no money out of pocket for that lease, and the lease doesn't start until the solar panels and everything are on your rooftop. And PTO will happen. You don't get the tax credit. The leasing company will receive that tax credit, which helps bring down the cost of your cost per kilowatt hour. I want to just let you know that if you come to me and you want a lease, if I can put you in a 0% escalator for that lease, I will do that, because it's better for you as the homeowner. The last thing I want to do is put someone in a 3.5% rate escalator that compounds over time over 25 years of that lease. And here are some things about leasing. If you lease a solar system, you don't own it. The leasing company does. It's usually for 25 years. You need to make sure that your my kids are all in baseball right now. They're in the backyard practicing. If I was leasing a solar system and one of my kid hits a pop fly and the ball comes and crashes down on my solar panel, because all of our solar panels, I'm looking at our backyard, and our solar panels are on the southwest side of that's our house is southwest, northwest, or northeast, I guess, facing. So all of our solar panels are, you can only see them from the backyard. If a kid does that and it hits and breaks my solar panel and I'm leasing it, and even if I've purchased it, it is not on the solar company to then replace that solar panel. It's on me. So anything that's I guess force, is it majeure? Anything like that, that is not on the solar company. If it's a faulty panel or whatnot, or a faulty microinverter or whatever it might be, that's on them to replace, and it's under warranty. And so for 25 years, you don't have to worry about that kind of a thing. If there is a manufacturer defect, it's on the leasing company. It's on the solar panel manufacturer, the inverter manufacturer, to make that system right for you if it's that situation. And same goes with batteries. If you get a battery with your solar system, which everyone in California with NEM 3.0 will get at least one battery, the batteries are good for 25 years. So if it goes out, then they have to replace it for you. So that's kind of cool, like really cool. The only uncool thing that can complicate things, it doesn't mean it's impossible, but when you sell your house, the new owner has to assume the lease. So they have to qualify for the lease, or the seller purchases the system at fair market value, and the new homeowner will have to do that. So that's the only way to get out of leases before 25 years are up. And then after the lease is completed, you either have the system removed and or replaced, or you buy it. So you have options. Leasing is not as bad as people think it is. It used to be, though, that it was financially better to purchase solar systems, especially with cash. It still is if you have cash, but the financing costs have gone through the roof, and just like everything else when it comes to borrowing money. So most people, I just want to make sure that you all understand that there are many ways that you can go solar. You don't have to pay cash for it. There's no, that's the only time you're going to have huge upfront costs. If you need a new roof, which a lot of people do, you can put that in with your financing. If you finance it, it's going to be much more expensive. So if you don't want that, then you pay to have the roof done. And most roofing companies are probably going to ask for cash payment for every roof. So don't let roofing detour you from getting solar. You can finance it in some cases, you may be able to put it into the lease. That's tricky though, because then your lease payment it's not a true reflection of your energy costs. Main panel upgrades are another thing. If you live in an older home and you need multiple batteries because of your consumption habits, you may need to upgrade your main service panel, because the installers need enough electrical backfeed in your main service panel to hook up the solar system as well as the batteries. Not everyone needs that, but some people do. So if that's an added cost, don't be surprised by that. And there's kind of no way around it. Hopefully it's overhead, not underground, and hopefully the gas meter is on the opposite side of the house or within more than 3 feet from your electrical meter, because that adds cost to the MPU that's above and beyond that cost. So it is going solar, it is a process. And one of the things I want to say, especially in California with the utility companies, I have homeowners that are waiting for their main panels upgrades to occur, and it's because it's underground. And they have to upgrade the underground, the electrical lines underground. Some of these homeowners are, they went solar in end of 2022, and the utility companies are still haven't upgraded their electrical, underground lines, and they're still waiting. So it can take time. And please know, it's not the solar company's fault. It is the utility company. And there's also the AHJ, or the authority having jurisdiction, or your building department. Sometimes permits get hung up there. Sometimes the building inspector will fail an installation for the smallest little thing, and then it has to be revised, and it has to be a new permit needs to be issued. These things happen, and it causes delays. And so when you go solar in California, I'm only speaking to California. In other states, usually it's a shorter process. But just, depending on what you're having done, just know that it's going to take time and to be patient. The solar companies are doing everything that they can to get solar on the roof and help you gain your energy independence and resilience, especially with the batteries. But they are at the mercy of the utility company, and they are at the mercy of the AHJ, who is signing off on your solar and batteries, and they're also signing off on any electrical upgrades, and they're also signing off on any roofing. So all of these events all get wrapped up under the solar umbrella. And when you're looking at reviews, like who to use for your solar installer, take that into consideration. It all starts with the sales consultant. And if the sales consultant's uneducated, which I've seen several proposals come across my desk, and it's astonishing what I see. But that being said, at the end of the day, it's a solar installer that's responsible for that solar system. So you want to make sure you're working with a legitimate, educated solar consultant that's going to sell you and tell you what you actually need to go solar, and not misinform you of anything, especially when it comes to storage sizes. Like a 5 kilowatt battery is not going to serve most homeowners. And I see solar with 5 kilowatt storage batteries. You're going to be so upset when you get your monthly true up bills, because that storage is not usually enough for most homeowners in California. But when you're looking at reviews and everything, take into consideration all of that, because guess who gets the bad rap in all of this process? It's a big construction process. It's usually the solar company. So it's not just the solar company. It can come down to the finance company. It can come down to they're all working together to get you solar. And this applies to everyone in all of the United States. It's not just the solar company that's single-handedly responsible for your solar system. So I hope that helps you in your analysis of who to go solar with. I work with several companies in the state of California and across the nation to help you go solar. And I'm always going to pick I'm going to encourage you to go with the right solar installer in your area. So, yeah, and also get the right amount of storage. And what kind of storage? It's a lot of information, but I hope that this helps you, if you're in California, understand solar today is not what it was a year ago. And the other thing I want to say is, for homeowners who just bought their house and they're just moving in, or they've been in their house for 3 months. As much as I would love to help you go solar, and I could, and we could do our best at guesstimating, I'm going to recommend and advise that you sit on that until you hit your annual consumption mark, like your 1-year anniversary and being in your home. Because I spoke with a homeowner who lives in an area where it gets very hot in the summer. And she informed me that she added all these mini splits for AC in her home, and she hasn't used them yet. And I said, it would not be wise to put solar on your house unless we knew, or like guesstimated, that you're going to run those for several hours a day, every single day for at least 5 months or 4 months. If you can, just suck it up for the next at least 6 months, get through summer, and then let's talk about putting solar on your roof, so that firstly, we get you enough solar to generate enough energy. And if your roof can house all the solar panels to be able to accomplish that, and then get you the right amount of storage for, after hours, if you will. And she agreed. And so be patient if you're a homeowner that just moved into your home within the last year, or I say within the last few months. Just be patient. We'll get you there. It is what it is. Because you don't want to be undersized. And you don't want to be oversized. I'm okay with. In fact, the utility companies will only let you go up to 150% offset. Meaning if you consume 10,000 kilowatt hours, you can go up to 15,000 system that generates 15,000 kilowatt hours with justification. But yeah, and then the amount of storage that you might need. So most people don't want to put second and third solar systems on their house, but if you're undersized and never sized properly, you may have to. And it's fine under NEM 3.0 because we're not up against a deadline like we were almost a year ago with NEM 2.0. So, but what I was going to say is, if you, so that was for people who just bought a house within the last few months. Wait, that's what I would say. If you're impatient, and you want me to help you go solar, I may have you sign a document, an agreement saying, I understand that we are guesstimating and estimating our system size and storage, and I do not hold Jamie Green, the solar queen, accountable for underproduction or the true up or whatever, because every solar system in California needs to be sized, and every solar system outside of California should be sized based off of actual data. Like, that's the smart thing to do, in my opinion. That's my opinion. But that's that. But for everyone who is under NEM 2.0, and you just got solar within the last couple of years, and you're getting a true up, if it's under $1,000, I would just say, as much as it is like annoying, don't add solar unless it makes sense and you're going to be in this home for a long time. Because you will get knocked out of NEM 2.0. You will be forced to add batteries to your system if you don't already have the batteries, and it's going to cost a lot more, the ROI and everything. And for people who live in new construction that bought homes, and this is the thing for everybody buying new homes that are built after 2021, I believe, all required a solar offset. But developers and builders are not sizing systems to what they probably anticipate that home consuming. They are just getting by with the bare minimum system size that they have to be in compliance with the building code. So people who are buying homes that are built after 2021 that have solar on them, you will have a true up. You probably already know this. The if you live in like a townhome that has shares roofs and space and everything, it's still possible to add solar to that, but we have to work with your HOA. So that's one thing, and we have to get creative sometimes with financing and lending, because some don't want to do that. Like they don't want to lend when there's a shared roof or a shared wall, or condos are like that would be a condo situation. Townhomes are a little bit more flexible, but for anybody living in a home that was built after this solar mandate, it's likely you're having a true up. And we need to make sure you have enough roof space and whatnot, and that it makes financial sense for you to add more solar and storage now, because you will be bumped at an NEM 2.0. So that's what I have to say about that. I hope this was helpful for you guys. It's good to be back and being live streaming on Facebook and YouTube. Thank you to everyone who's subscribed to my YouTube channel, and thank you to everyone who books consultations with me on jamiegreenthesolarqueen.com. I really appreciate it, and I want to help you go solar and save on your energy costs. And I was at Starbucks today, and I saw a sign about, there's in Marin County now, there's a surcharge, a 25-cent cup, 25-cent surcharge for single-use cups. I normally make my coffee at home, but I was like, is this a new thing? And they said, yes, it started a week ago, and it applies to all the restaurants. Of course, I want to help the environment. And of course, I want to do, reduce costs for you guys as much as possible. But I was a little shocked by this. So now my coffee costs 25 cents more, unless I bring my own renewable cup, which I probably will start doing. But just public service announcement, if you get anything single use, you're going to be charged specifically for beverages. Anyways, I do care about our environment and what's happening, and solar is one way that you can feel good about your energy being produced from the sun. And for 25 plus years, your solar panels are going to be working for you. Storage is always evolving. More battery options are coming onto the market. Larger storage capacity, better for the environment type thing. So that's the good news. But I will say, renewable energy, in my opinion, is far greater and better, if you can do it, than burning coal and letting that pollution go into the air. So, and as someone who has asthma, good quality air is important to me. So, and I think it is for you too. So that's that. Make sure to reach out if you have any questions, if you want to go solar, if you have questions about your existing solar system and you are thinking of adding on. We'll break down the cost and analyze that. And I'm always going to do everything I can to make it the best decision for you going solar. So thanks so much for watching, and have a happy Easter. Okay, bye.